Hello, welcome to Love at Home with Kim. Today I'm going to show you my signs and symptoms during my 18th to 20th week of pregnancy.
Give me your strength and show me your weakness. We're in this together now. We're in this together now. Give me your love.
As usual, I've written all my signs and symptoms here on this notebook so that I'll be able to really describe to you how I felt during that week. So for my 18th week, this was a time when I had a lot of vivid dreams. So there was a time that I had a vivid dream wherein I was doing CrossFit, but in reality, before I got pregnant, I was really doing a lot of exercises, heavy weight lifting. I was working out about 5 to 7 times a week, so I was quite active back then. And it kind of just went down because of the morning sickness that I've experienced, and up to now I still haven't been as active as I was, but definitely after I give birth, hopefully I'll be able to be more active as I was back then. Another funny dream that I had during this week was that I won a triple threat match and I won a featherweight championship against Booker T and Shelton Benjamin. So it was so funny because growing up as a kid, I watched a lot of WWE, which is a wrestling show, and I don't know, for some reason, Booker T and Shelton Benjamin challenged me on that dream and I won the match. I also felt some bubbles in my stomach and I was pretty positive that it was already the baby at this time. So normally moms would feel the baby kick between week 16 to 20. So I felt her during this 18th week and it just kind of felt like little bubbles in my stomach. This was also the time that I became very emotional, even with the smallest things such as memes and some posts on Facebook, such as what's happening in the society right now with the society problems and all. So I don't know, for some reason when I read those articles, I get teary-eyed, which normally I won't, but I guess it's the hormones. During this time, I also experienced some menstrual cramps, so I would experience slight lower belly pain and some pain that lasted for a few seconds on the belly and on my belly button. And for some reason, I also experienced some menstrual-like pain on the lady parts down there, like a throbbing pain, but not really super painful. It's just very similar to menstrual cramps. And my doctor told me that those kinds of pain could be associated with the stretching of the uterus, because of course the baby's growing, so whatever's inside you is also expanding, so that's the cause of the slight discomfort. I've also been waking up quite consistently 8:30 in the morning, whether or not I got 8 hours, 10 hours, or even 5 hours of sleep. For some reason, I had a schedule during this week of waking up at the same time over and over again. And I also had my checkup. So since I haven't been vomiting anymore as much during this week, I was able to gain about 5 pounds since my pre-pregnancy weight, which is, good. And during my checkup, I was feeling a-okay, but on my way back home, I was feeling very lightheaded and kind of nauseous in the car, because usually I would just take an Uber whenever I go for my checkups. And then when I got back home, oh my gosh, whenever I remember it, I feel so disgusted with myself because I couldn't hold my vomit in anymore, that I was just closing my mouth while the vomit just kept on coming out from between my fingers. So eventually I couldn't hold it and I didn't even get to reach the toilet at that point. I had to vomit on the sink, which is not really good. So it was really that bad. But it was just a one-time thing. I don't know what happened then that caused it to ricochet in that manner, but yeah, that was like one of the worst vomit I had, but it was just a one-time thing. And also, I experienced some heartburn at this time, and physically, my ring would still fit me with a tightener. However, one thing that I didn't like is that I noticed that my armpits and my neck started to have darker lines, which I never ever had before. If you knew me, you would know that I would always have the, very good color armpits, but I never expected that my armpits will turn from a lighter color to a really dark color that it looks like a birthmark. But anyway, it happens. On my 18th week, I also have a lot of good energy, and I was able to move around and be a lot more productive, especially with household chores. And one thing that I've noticed during this time was that I had a clear discharge, clear odorless discharge, which my doctor said was also quite normal. On my 19th week, this was the time that I had an ultrasound of the baby for the anatomy scan. We saw in the anatomy scan that the baby had 143 beats per minute for a heartbeat, and she's weighing at 10 ounces. So this was also the time that we had found out the gender of the baby, but I asked the technician to just put it in an envelope because we are planning to have a gender reveal the week or about 2 weeks after that. So we were just so excited to find out about the gender, but we had to hold it in ourselves because, we wanted it to be a surprise for us as well. So the only people who found out about the gender was my neighbor, because I asked her to send a message to my best friend holding a baby shower back in the Philippines. And yeah, so basically the two of them were the first people who found out about the gender. Here's a quick ultrasound of my baby during the anatomy scan, and so far so good. She said that baby was completely fine, and she was very kind enough to let me film everything, and she was very patient because I think the viewing lasted a bit longer than usual because I really wanted to get a nice shot of the baby, and I really noticed from the scan that my baby was moving a lot, having so strong kicks, and it really made me teary-eyed during that time. It was very interesting to know that on the pregnancy apps that I have, it said there that during this time the baby is about 6 inches long. So I asked the technician to check the height of the baby, and they said that she wouldn't be able to see the actual height yet, but she can show me the height of the baby from head to thumb because the baby's already curled up at this time or knees bent. So when she checked the height of the baby from head to thumb, the baby was about 15 centimeters or almost 6 inches. So whatever's in the app would actually give you a measurement of the baby from head to thumb, not from head to foot.
The spine. The head is here. Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is leg and butt right here.
Oh, that's why you can't measure, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, because it's bent. Because I read in the app that they said at 19 weeks the baby is 6 inches. So is it like just from head to the butt? That's how they measure it?
Let me see, because 6 inches
That's what they said on the app. I don't know.
would be about, so there's what, 2.5 centimeters in an inch, right?
Yeah, 2.54.
So if it's 15 from head to butt.
On the 19th week, this was also the time that I had the linea nigra, which is the line in between the belly And it's very interesting to see because it really is an indicator that, oh my gosh, I'm pregnant. It just doesn't look like a huge bump on my belly. There's an actual line there. So some people like it, some people don't, but personally, I like it. I have also noticed that my nails grow a lot faster during this time. During this time, I think I'm getting a little bit clumsier because I had a wound on my finger while cutting fruit, and I wasn't really happy about it. Lastly, for my 20th week, these are my symptoms. So I just found out from my doctor from my previous ultrasound that I have a low-lying placenta. So she told me that I have to be on pelvic rest, not to carry too heavy things or go lighter on the exercises. And she told me that I think 80% chance that most women who have a low-lying placenta will eventually have their placenta up at the later part of the pregnancy. So she asked me to have an appointment with a specialist at the perinatal center to check on my 32nd week to see whether or not my placenta went up. So it's kind of terrifying for me as a first-time mom to find out about that, because if you have a low-lying placenta and it turns into placenta previa, which means that your placenta is covering the cervix, you might need to have a C-section. And I've always wanted to go natural or have the usual vaginal birth for the baby. So I was really hoping and praying that my placenta will eventually go up. I experienced throbbing pain on the right side, on my right side. I don't know why, but probably it's because my body is consistently stretching for the baby. And I also felt a little bit of pain on my navel and a slight pain on the lady parts, like a round ligament pain. It's like a stretching pain, you know, and I asked my doctor about it, and she said that when you experience pain on like the lady parts over there, it's mainly because the baby is stretching underneath. I was kind of nervous because the fact that I know that I have a low-lying placenta at this time, I thought that the baby was already too low, you know, so it really made me scared. But she said that it's just because the baby is expanding inside me. That's why it's kind of painful there. And it can also be associated with round ligament pain. So there's also a little bit of pain on my left under boob, probably because it's also expanding. And I also had purging acne from using junk elephant glycolic acid. If you don't know junk elephant glycolic acid, they are pregnancy safe for that specific product. That's what they said. I think it's only retinols or higher concentration of glycolic acid that are not good for pregnant women, but for this specific ingredient, it's actually safe for pregnant women. And I had a lot of purging acne at this time, so it's fine with me. I mean, I'm not really going out of the house as often, so I just had to deal with it. That is all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, make sure you give this a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you are into pregnancy hauls, cleaning motivation, cooking motivation, gardening, and all of that good stuff every Tuesday and Thursday. And make sure you click the bell icon down below so you will be notified that I upload twice a week. Thank you so much for watching, you guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye!